Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Current News Extra Interview Session, a program we invite innovators, stakeholders, and influencers in the blockchain, crypto, and fintech ecosystem to come air their opinion on the state of the blockchain and crypto ecosystem. So today we'll be talking about economic inclusion and social impact of fourth industrial revolution. So with me to talk about this amazing topic is Mohammed Tyson, who is the head of business development, Flare Network. Mohammed, you're welcome to Coin Esther.
Hey Lee, how are you? It's a pleasure to be here, and welcome to everyone who's going to be listening later on and watching this video. I'm excited to be here. It's a very important topic. We covered this like 2 weekends ago at the Africa Digital Finance Summit that happened in Kenya. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go there personally due to COVID, as you might know. So I had to attend virtually, and I was actually speaking on the future of finance in Africa. And we were talking about digital currencies and a lot of different technologies that will add to the financial inclusion suite, I would say, for the future. So it's a very important topic and exciting to be here. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for joining us. Before we move straight to that particular topic, we would like to get a brief about you, Mohammed, and your background.
So I'm originally from a finance background. I studied finance and economics, and I got into tech late in 2017. Focused more on blockchain, more and more blockchain for me as a career from 2017. But I've been interested and researching about the technology since 2016, and I really see technology as one of the pivotal points in infrastructure for a lot of industries. And that's what got me to go more digital and more towards digital transformation, and pivoted my work towards digital transformation consulting from management consulting. Is that I identified that technology is no longer an industry by itself, but more like an arm for a multitude of industries to use to enhance user experience, to enhance, to disrupt the actual industry itself, and produce new products and so forth. And that's what got me towards blockchain and Flare, really, is that innovation and the move towards, I would say, new technologies and the need for it in our part of the world, especially Egypt and Africa and the Middle East in general. We are poised to have a lot of, I would say, innovation that really solves a lot of problems and will have a lot of social impact as well as economic impact. I would say more than a lot of the parts of the world, because we are, I would say, much in need. So that's what got me into going into technology, really, is I wanted to harness my business knowledge that I've garnered from banking, management consulting, and so forth, and to try to couple that with what I've been learning as a solutions architect in technology, and getting more and more in depth and understanding about what technologies can do, and bridging the gap between businesses, really, and helping them understand how they can use technology. And especially amid the fourth industrial revolution, there's a lot of disruption that's going on. So a lot of businesses are really prepared to handle that, or have been thinking about it for the past years to handle this disruption. And that's where I've been really focusing. And right now we're opening our co-working space here in Egypt as well, to act as an ecosystem and a community for tech entrepreneurs and blockchain entrepreneurs as well.
Mohammed, we'll come to that. Let's get straight. Sorry to cut you short on that. Okay, we know we're talking about economic inclusion and social impact of fourth industrial revolution. Okay, looking at no, we are looking at what fourth industrial revolution is really doing. And see what the way the things are moving now in this 21st century. What are some of the transformations associated with fourth industrial revolution?
So I would say that there are two ways to tackle this question, whether it's on the technologies that are being used or which industries are being disrupted. And I would say, if you're asking about which industries, I would say every industry. It's not industry specific, it's agnostic. It's technology today is not gonna just help people in real estate or it's not just going to help people in the financial sector. You have health tech, education tech, you have security and privacy, you have financial technology, so fintech. So you have a lot of I would say a lot of industries that are incorporating new and innovative solutions that incorporate a lot of the technologies that are associated with the fourth industrial revolution, like big data, like AI, like blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. And you'll see all of that as well with the Internet of Things and automation and how drones are being utilized. For instance, you see drones being used for aid relief into hard to access like areas. Here in Africa, you have, I would say, a lot of health tech and preemption kind of like solutions coming up to help with the elderly and early detection with some of the diseases and so forth, employing AI to run diagnostics real time. So you have a lot of, I would say, a lot of industries being disrupted for the first time at the same time.
Yes.
So it's for the first time it's happening that a multitude of industries are being disrupted at the same time, and new innovative technologies are coming up. You have technology like hyperloop, for instance, coming up with high speed passive magnetic levitation, vacuum tube train. It's a new form of transportation. You can consider it to be a train, but it's not really a train. So it's a hybrid. So I would say that with the fourth industrial revolution, you will see new industries emerge, new as well as old industries being disrupted by new technologies on their infrastructural level. So it's very exciting to see.
Okay, talking about disruption, let's move to a little bit to the rural areas. When it comes to, we talk about the unbanked and underbanked. Okay, let's look at this direction. So I know you are joining us from Africa, Egypt precisely, and you know how it is. What ways has the rural area, most especially in Africa, has been excluded or left behind economically?
I would say it's not by design. Like they have some of the areas have been left behind, but not really left behind. It's just that they have lagged behind without real support, and it's more because of developmental plan. I would say sometimes economic planning and like how they're phasing it. But I would personally say they're like here in Egypt, for instance, there is a very big initiative happening about digitizing and enhancing the Egyptian countryside and the Egyptian village, essentially. So that's a whole big initiative happening being pushed by the government today, really to enhance and especially tackle that side of what you were talking about, how to tackle rural areas. And I would say that you have a lot of agri-tech companies that are coming up as well and so forth. But I would say still education, sometimes you have regulations that would negate the use of some technologies like drones. Are not all countries are drone friendly in developing countries. So there are some limitations to what you can do to disrupt in some rural areas, but definitely it's being taken into consideration, especially because you have to remember Africa, we are a young continent. And when I say young continent, like the majority of Africans are young, are youth. So it's not like we're not tech savvy. It's not like it's not technology today. It's not easy to teach. You have Egyptians here who literally don't know how to read and write, but you find them using WhatsApp. Literally, they just use voice notes. So it's exciting to see how people are overcoming their literacy problems by being uneducated, or some of the limitations that would have allowed them to use technology in the past, to use technology today at ease with touch screens and smartphones. And I think smartphones are readily available today with a lot of people. So it's it's not really
Okay,
like a problem
Mohammed,
to have accessibility.
okay, let's look, being able to identify some of these challenges. What ways can these rural areas leverage blockchain and other fourth industrial revolution technology?
Well, I would say for especially for inclusion and social impact, blockchain can create a lot of new innovative ways on governance, as well as creating like mini economies that would I would say industry coins. So you have industry coins, you have mutual credit. Like mutual business credit networks that can arise and so forth and run on crypto. So you have a lot of use cases that can arise on blockchain that can be utilized by the individual. I would say even DeFi can help with some of the governance required for the management of the, I would say, informal liquidity pools that we have here in Africa. I think in Nigeria and in Kenya and Uganda, you guys have sakas, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So we have a similar concept here in the Arab world and in Egypt as well called Gamaya, which is basically you're a group of people, neighbors, family members, and friends. You come together, and everyone is paying like a monthly stipend, like they're paying a monthly pay-in, basically. And everyone usually one time you get a big cash out payout. So it's similar to kind of like a very informal, very basic liquidity pool management. Imagine what DeFi, with the governance structure that DeFi brings for management of liquidity pools and all of those financial suites being availed to these people to have coverage of financial inclusion. Because today, when we used to talk about financial inclusion, a lot of people talk about being banked or having, but no one really defines what it means to be banked. Does it mean to have only a bank account, or does it mean to have access to the actual financial services that are required, like access to credit, access to management tools for your business, like payroll management, supplier management, like payables and receivables, stuff like that. So I think digital solutions today will allow for more and more inclusion to happen by offering a set of, I would say, tools that are more cost efficient and easily accessible by the user, as well as have a seamless and I would say easy user experience, not as complicated as it gets when you're usually going to visit a bank or so forth. You know, I know a lot of people here in Egypt, and I would say a lot of people in Africa, especially small business owners, are usually weary of dealing with the big banks. That's a cultural thing. So I think DeFi and blockchain and crypto, and also you have like the neo banking platforms and so forth, would offer different ways to cater to that. And I think Kenya with M-Pesa has shown very interesting results. But what was very interesting for me to find out is that even within Kenya, like only 8% save. And that was a very interesting number that I found out back when I was at the conference 2 weeks ago. And it's astonishing that you have accessibility. People have access to be able to pay and accessibility to an account, and they can save on it and so forth. But yet, all mechanisms of allowing you to have true financial power is not being utilized. And I think that's maybe because of lack of education and so forth. And I think education will help more to drive adoption and getting people to understand financial literacy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mohammed Taisi. Before we draw the curtain of today's episode of Coin News Extra Interview Session, I would like to get your opinion on this. You are the head of business development, Flare Network. What's your contribution in making these things that we've been able to discuss?
So one, we're opening our co-working space here in Egypt. Me personally, and we're engaging that to build out the tech, like more to be more engaging with the tech ecosystem and to enhance the blockchain ecosystem here as well as to create focus on social impact companies that have a drive towards SDGs, financial inclusion, and all of the above, basically health tech conscious. So as the head of BD of Flare, I would say that we at Flare are just working on preparing and putting in place the right infrastructure and building the ecosystem out, and like preparing and engaging with innovative companies to see how they can deploy on top of Flare and to offer them the infrastructure required to help them scale and grow, and to be, I think, a positive impact in their community, as well as to be a bigger, larger part of our ecosystem as well globally, and to see how we can help them with that. So I would say our main focus really is getting the right infrastructure in place, and engaging with the community to see how we can support more, and to see how we can be like the infrastructure partner, I would say.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It has really been an amazing time out with you, Mohammed Tessi, head of business development, Flare Network, is joining us from Egypt. Thank you very much once again,
Thank
Mohammed.
you. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to engaging with you more in the future. Thanks again.